Welcome to Pokemon GO Podcast, where Joe needed a 1 hour break from all the time. So, he had to exercise the demons of that dirty, filthy hippie Eevee out of his baby tonight. But he's here. What is that monkey that you're playing with? Don't answer now. Hey, Art is here talking about podcasting, and we're getting this podcast going a few minutes late on the live because Joe surprised me. I was set up, ready to go. He's like, and this is more filthy casual, right? This is not embrace the underscore of, hey man, last minute, just life is hitting me. Things are happening. I'm like, no worries, buddy. I got you. And I'm like, oh man, I got the setup. I tweaked up some things so we'd have the banner.
You had even gone live.
I'd gone live just to make sure that everything connected right. It was good. And I was sitting there, I was going to do, because, I'm not going to go look for headlines. That's what Joe's here for. I mean, he knows the Pokemon community, what headlines will really land and what won't. So I relied on Joe to get those. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try to go out of my wheelhouse. I'm going to dive into my wheelhouse, which is I talk to people. So I was going to open up the Discord and our Patreon and have people on live. And
if anyone messages us on the Discord, we can invite them to the chat. So I mean that's still an option. But yeah.
No, it's not. Underscore took it away. Your mama came in and said no, it's okay. It's fine. It is what it is what it is. But Joe, other than the experiences of today, how's your experience of the week been?
Okay, so this past week, I've been. What is Charles on tonight? Tugus.
What is Charles on about? I'm on about Joe.
Oh yeah. So this past week has been an interesting week from a personal standpoint, but from the game, I don't know. We had community day this past week, and I really just couldn't get into it. I didn't care. Like I logged on a few times throughout the day and caught stuff because I really didn't feel like wasting incense, especially with the new changes, which we're going to talk about. Well, I mean, we can just mention it real quick.
Well, no. We got
okay.
Like 4 topics. I'm surprised, man. It was very weird. It was very weird that I had to be like, hey, Joe, it's community day, and texted you, and you're like,
you did not.
Well, somebody texted somebody.
So we've got Jace here in the chat asking, how do we get in the Discord? So our Discord is locked behind our Patreon. So you actually have to go to patreon.com/Pokemon GO Podcast. And any amount will get you into the Discord. So
I just put the link in the chat there, and we had King Breaker 882 pop in and say hi. Coach Kev's jumping in. So, all right, Joe. So you didn't.
Yeah. So I caught a few things. I did hatch a bunch. So one of the things I did make sure to do during Community Day, because this Community Day, one of the bonuses was a quarter hatch distance. So I did make sure to get all my eggs into incubators. So I did hatch some stuff. Like I hatched a new Cryogonal. That was fine. I hatched a couple of Meowths, an Alolan Meowth and a Langolier Meowth. A Galarian Meowth. And I hatched a Bergmite. My kids were like, what is that Pokemon? And I'm like, it's a Bergmite. And they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. And I actually did hop on during Growlithe Community Day and caught a bunch of or not Community Day, Spotlight.
Hour.
I didn't end up getting a shiny Growlithe, so I was a little sad about that. But I did. I hopped on and I caught some Growlithe and whatnot. But again, I didn't bother using incense. And we'll talk a little bit later about why. We talked a little bit about it last week, but we'll talk about it again. Tell you.
So today my phone was being weird. I'm sitting in my office, and I have the opportunity to have my phone in front of me, and I saw 3 different raid invites come through, and it just the first time I because I was not on the game, I was on my lock screen or whatever, my phone, and got the notification, which I finally did. I still can't get it to play sound necessarily for some reason, but it will actually pop up and notify pretty quickly that that I'm being invited here. And I hit the notification and opened up the game, and then went to a black screen, and it just sat there. So I sat there long enough. I knew I missed the raid invite. Then 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, somebody, probably the same person, invited me to another raid. That one got towards the game, but nothing else would load. So I knew it was my signal. Something was going on where I was. And then the third one I did, but then it wouldn't let me fight. And yeah, I gave up today. So I do appreciate the invites. I did try to get in. It was stuff on my side. However, I did do the Sand Shrew Community Day after Joe met me. He's like, yeah. Normally Joe like messages me first thing in the morning. Hey man, Community Day starts in like 2 hours. Hey man, it starts in 1 hour. It gives me like a 10-minute countdown, except it's minute by minute. We're just like 60, 50 times. I just keep getting these texts. Like, I get it, Joe. Community Day. Today it was like an hour left, or this weekend rather, there's an hour left.
Yeah, it was like halfway through, and I was like, "Hey, by the way, it's Community Day."
Yeah. So the very first thing I did, I do feel bad for Tugas, because the Tugas says I didn't get a shiny either. The very first thing I did was, oh hey, there's the Alolan Sand Shrew. Click. Oh look, it's shiny. Pop. Grabbed it.
Shiny.
Hey, I love that song. You know what? We should clip. We need to clip that. Put it on our board. So we'll talk about shiny. Why have we never thought about that? You're a genius, Joe. This is why. So yeah. So I did that, and I caught a few other Sand Shrews, and then I clicked another Alolan, and it was shiny. So I went and evolved that one up. So I got a shiny.
And you're just like, all right, 5 minutes in, I'm already done with Community Day. Bye.
What I'm saying though, Joe, that's been my Community Days until this last few months. That's been my Community Day experience. Joe goes, hey, remember, at some point I get in, I play for about 5-10 minutes, grab a shiny two, which this will play into our discussion today, of course, but grab a shiny or two and get out, because it's Community Day. And unless I just really want to work on it hard, that's how it goes. So it's very, very interesting. Jace said that. You know what, Jace, I'm going to read that. I'm definitely going to read that because we're doing experience of the week here in a minute. We're going to throw that experience in as well. And so I did that, got a few raids in. I hatched a Poniard this week. I think that's the second Poniard I've hatched, maybe. So that I'm going to work on a little bit. And Joe, I would dare say I've played more Pokemon Go Arceus than you have.
I would dare say that's true.
I played all of 30 minutes and kicked it out and sent it back.
Did you really?
Yeah, and here's why. Because the whole reason, and I got it from GameFly. I'm a big proponent of GameFly. I love it. Lets me and my family, I have 4 kids, for those who don't know. So it lets us try out a whole lot of games cheaply and affordably, and to see if we like it. If we like it, then we can save up money, buy it, whatever, purchase it from GameFly, whatever. And so I was like, I just want to see. I've been seeing reviews. I've been seeing people talk about comparing it to Breath of the Wild. My wife and I loved Breath of the Wild, so I thought, well, maybe this will be a game she and I could play together. No, it's not. And here's why. We are not the deep story people. We are not the couple that wants all the ins and outs, and we don't want to live the anime. Okay, I guess that's the best way to put it. If you love Pokemon or the animation or anime of Pokemon, you'll probably love this game because it gets in there. But I played for 30 minutes, man. I caught the 3 starters that you have to catch to practice catching. They're teaching you the game if you've never played it, right? And I got to battle 1 trainer in 30 minutes. And I was sitting here all the story as fast as I can because it's not for me. And I understand I'm not going to knock it. I get why people like it. It's just not for me. But I'm skipping the story. 30 minutes later, I got a battle, and then I was like, then I went out. But by that time, we were just kind of, because we also play at night as well. Hey, Currens is here. We play at night, so from 10:30 to 11 p.m. and we're just getting tired. I was like, it's just not for us. I need that game to be more Breath of the Wild, which was, hey, you got up out of a coffin. Hey, here's a magic cell phone, which you get in Arceus as well. And then, boom, go out and play the game, and we'll tell you the story as you go. That's more my style. That's the only reason I sent it back. Joe, I think when you start playing it and streaming it, you're going to love it.
Sounds good to me.
That's what I got into a thunderous.
So you've already kicked it back.
I did. I mean, because I can tell pretty quickly nowadays what I'm going to be into and what I'm not. Sometimes I'm wrong, but it's rare. And again, I didn't hate the game. I just needed a way to skip an hour into the story so I could actually start. I mean, I got to the point finally at about 35 minute mark. You get to the point where you can, and that's with skipping all the story, by the way, 35-minute mark. You get to where you can go out of the city and you start capturing 3 things they assigned you to catch so you can do whatever. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but by that point I was already tired.
Catch things in Pokemon? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm not going to talk about
what a huge spoiler.
Look, they did not clearly state that the food you eat in the game was not Pokemon, so you might be eating some duck at the table. I'm just saying.
There's a few times in the Pokemon games where they clearly state that the food you're eating is Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
In Gen 2, in Gold and Silver, Team Rocket is specifically poaching Slowpoke tails, and it shows some Slowpoke that have no tails.
That's well, at least they're not dead, I guess. Where's my impossible Slowpoke? I want the Slowpoke tail that's actually made from plant. That's what I'm looking for.
The Beyond Slowpoke.
The Beyond Slowpoke. That's the title for tonight. Beyond Slowpoke. So where's our experiences of the week? As I pull that up, there's some experiences here in the chat. And if you're new, please tell us your experiences from Community Day or what's going on in your life. By the way, Kingbreaker is from Singapore and tuning in live. That's
pretty awesome.
Obviously, well, I don't know about obviously, but I feel like it's obvious that we're based in the U.S. The way we talk and act and do things. So I always love, even if you're an American in Singapore, I don't care. You're in some other part of the world. I always think it's very, very cool. So Kingbreaker asked about Arceus, Tortuga. I keep saying Tortuga. Well, Rose, you're gonna be called Tortugas. Just I'll say it nicely for you. Tortugas Rose. Said I didn't get shiny either. Let's see. Jace Jendel 11 says hatched a shiny Volibee. That's pretty cool. I bet you. He said I was very happy. I bet you were. That's awesome. Kern's made it in. This is Kern's experience of the week, by the way. Just showing up. You're welcome, Kern. We appreciate you.
Hey, Kern's has his own button.
He does. I will use that button later on for sure. Let's see. Tugas says my experience of the week was that I finally caught a Thunderous so I could progress my Season of Legends research. And that is the grade I got into today that I had issues with, and the catch just wasn't great. It's whatever. It is my phone. I know it's my phone. Is where I was sitting, signal wise, and all that. All right. Let's see. Was it March 11th?
So we recorded on the 10th last week. So March 11th is where we would pick it up from.
Panic at the Ditto. I love that name.
Yeah, I still love that name. It's pretty awesome.
Shadow. Shadow Albra. Hundo.
The only thing that would make that even rarer is if it was shiny.
Shiny Shadow Shundo is what that would be.
The double SH, the Shundo.
Yeah.
Oh man. And the pink young goose, the one that's rebelling in their teenage years and dyed their hair.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem with this young goose. Is instead of actually going to Walmart and getting the $5 dye, they went to Ingles and got the 25-cent pack of Kool-Aid. And that's
I knew a girl in high school that used to dye her hair with Kool-Aid.
Everybody knew a girl in high school that used to do that, man. Come on. That's why the joke was.
Oh, man.
I know Charlie was caught around Chattanooga, Tennessee.
What? Wait a second.
In your backyard, Joseph?
Actually, I think I remember Panic at the Ditto mentioning he wasn't that far from me.
What's up with his Rockruff? That doesn't look right with the face.
That's a blue Rockruff. The reason why it doesn't look right is because that's the shiny glitter coming off of it.
Okay. Yeah. And the smaller one, it just looks like it has like black marks on its face. Like, Rockruff, who hit you? What's going on? But I see the shiny. Okay. Now when you zoomed in, I can see it better than.
It's shiny.
Yeah. Kittens and knives in the effing wild, brah.
Dino.
I can't even. I said it out loud. I can't even do it with a straight face, man. Yeah, Dino in the wild.
And then a shiny Lycanroc.
Wow, dude, doesn't Lycanroc feel like Rockadoodle a little bit? Doesn't he look like an angsty teenage wolf? Like, yeah, I don't want to bite nobody. I don't even want to go out at night, Dad.
Rockadoodle was the Elvis rooster, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
But it flopped over. It was.
It's been a long time since I've seen Rockadoodle.
Great movie. Your kids will love it. You should watch it. King of the Shinies, Nolte, 38 Shinies from Community Day. Too good. You might want to just skip forward. I know it's live, but do your best to skip forward a minute and a half here.
Just la la la. Cover your ears.
I like the sand shrews, sand slashes. I don't know if I have I play Community Day the way I wanted to. I got out after I got my 2 Sandshrews, Alolands that were shiny, because I think the Alolan forms of that one are prettier. I did not realize that the shiny of the regular Sandshrew turned red, bright red, which would be cool, but that's okay.
The spikes turn red.
Yeah, and that would have been cool. I would have liked to have Knuckles. He would have been nice to have, but it's okay. Kids and Knives got 21.
So I the Alolan Sandshrew, I like the Sandshrew form way better than the Sandslash. He's just, I don't know. I like the contrast. Personally.
Okay. All right, now follow.
Whereas the evolved one, he's just like, hey, look, I'm blue.
Blue, da-da-dee-da-dee. Yeah, but come on. If the Sandshrew, even with the contrast, gives me like, yeah, little buddy. If Sandslash, Alolan Shiny, came up against me, I'm like, yeah, I got to go, man. I can't be here anymore. That's scary. Kittens and Knives got 21. Looks like a bunch of Sandshrew Shinies there. Got not a Shundo at all. A shiny one, but it's close.
It's a lucky at least.
14, 13, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I messed that up.
Or 13, 12, 12, something like that.
Something like that. Hundo Bidoof. Well, eat your face, man.
Bidoof.
Bidoof. That's what Nolte said. Let's see what else we got. Rolling on through. We've got, I don't know the name of this. Mulga.
Yeah, pretty nice IVs for PvP. I don't know if he's any good for PvP, but great IVs for PvP.
Oh no! School of Rock Eddie says didn't know the Community Day was Sunday until you opened his game and saw the Sandshrews. Well,
I mean, if you're gonna miss one, this wasn't a horrible one to miss. I don't think. The only thing unique about it is that there was the 2 different forms. I think this is the first time we've had a kind of double Community Day. So now I'm wondering if they're going to give us a Meowth Community Day, and it's going to be a triple Community Day with Kanto, Alolan, and Galarian all popping up.
And Aliens versus Predator. Not Meowth. Man, I just messed that one up. Never mind. I went the total wrong way there.
Okay, so School of Rock Eddie, who, again, I don't know how frequently you're streaming these days, but School of Rock Eddie streams a fair bit of PvP, a lot better at PvP than we are. He says that Sandshrew is great for some of the PvP cups. So the specific cups where you're limited on like types and things like that you can bring in. Apparently he's not streaming as much anymore. But yeah, if he ever gets back to that, we'll let you guys know. So, and then we've got Kittens and High Fives, or Kittens and Knives, as you like to call them, with a combo O.
Yeah, nobody invited me to capture the commie, but that's okay. It's not like I'm in the backyard of Kittens and Knives, or anything. I don't even have to be there in person, man. It's fine. It's fine, Joe.
It's fine. You know what else is fine? School of Rock Eddie is cheating on Pokemon Go with Elden Ring.
Cheating or just moving on with his life? I enjoyed it. It is what it is. And then Kittens and Knives had to throw down every shiny they had.
That's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them. Terry got, is that a shiny Tyrogue?
Scrolling down. Yes, that is a shiny Tyrogue.
Posty one, Kenobi. A bunch of shinies. There's some special shinies in there too, I think.
Tornadus. I mean,
Yeah.
Kangaskhan's pretty good. I can't remember where Posty One Kenobi is from. If they're from Australia, but because I mean they would have to be from Australia because I don't think there's any events right now that are giving out Kangaskhan unless they're visiting Australia.
They could be visiting Australia. Well, by my inflection, I was being sarcastic. Duly noted. Did one better than me. He did one shiny better than me. That's okay.
But he also got a Hundo Metatite. It's been a long while since I've caught a new Hundo.
I don't know if I've ever had any Hundos because I always forget to check. I'll do that now just in case. So that how do you search the Hundo again?
4 asterisks.
Just 4 asterisks or the number 4 and
the number 4 and then an asterisk. And then we've got King of the Shinies Nulty.
I've got a Lowland Sandslash that's a Hundo.
There you go. So King of the Shinies Nulty, he's showing us his other shinies from this past week that weren't Sandshrew. Fletchling, a couple of Tornadus, Rockruff, Growlithe, Shiny Puppies, Eevee, and Lapras. And then 3 new Hundos. Man, I wonder how many Pokemon Nulty catches each week. Because it seems like he's got at least 1 new Hundo every week. So, I don't know. Now they're having a conversation about where they're getting specific Pokemon. Apparently the shiny Lapras was a house spawn for Nulty.
By the way, as I listen to this podcast, because they're not here live, we're literally looking at your messages. 8:10, 5 minutes after we were
they're typing right now, like literally right now.
The shinies 8:11. I was just a house spawn. I was shot. 8:11. Breaking news: Kittens and Knives. 8:11 said, "WTF? That's crazy." And we are pending right now on the edge of our seats to see what Nulty said. Oh, it went away. There it is. Breaking news at 8:58. Tell me about it. My house spawns have been good this past week. Woo! All right, that's into the breaking news of our Pokemon podcast. All right, Joe. So we have the question, right? That plays right into this community day and all that. And it says, for paid events, should Niantic crank his shiny rate up a ton? And everybody goes, Charles, you filthy casual. Community days are not paid events. You're correct, sir. Except, you could add that $1 ticket on. So you still could add this to community days. I feel like, well, I mean, as my filthy casual self said earlier, they do crank up the shiny rate for community day.
Well, so they do some, yes.
Yeah.
But should they turn it up to 11?
This came off of the Johto tour, right? Where you pay $12, $15, $8, $15.
I think it was $15.
$15. And lots of people worldwide were like, hey man, we didn't get shinies out of this thing. It was very, very disappointing. So Joe, your question was, for paid events, should Niantic crank up the shiny rate? If you listen to this podcast on Spotify, and I love that you listen to this podcast anywhere, thank you for doing that. But if you do it on Spotify specifically, you can answer the question directly right there in the app. And we've got 3 answers right now. Curtis M. Fowler says, absolutely. Short and to the point. The answer is shorter than your name, man, but I do appreciate it. It's awesome. Pokemon Master says, yes, they should. Or like, what's the point in buying it? Right, guys? What do you think, Jay? I mean, I think that's right.
I mean, I can see both stories because nobody actually answered on Reddit, but if I recall correctly, Dooley typed in chat last week that it was his opinion that they should leave it how it is because if there's too many shinies, then that devalues the shiny. And I understand that point. I do. But the thing is, it's community day. basically everybody and their mother is going to end up with at least a couple of shinies. If they crank it up really high, then that'll help you get better IV shinies.
Well, there's that. And the paid events at the festivals, those kind of things. I do have one more. Chow, Kellerman Sabino, and CIO. So I'm assuming it's Chow. Says, I don't think so. It's a hard job to find a balance that will be worth it for those who pay, but it's not unfair for those who don't. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. My point.
Yeah, that's true. Should the shiny effectively? I mean, it's not completely, but it's kind of locked behind a paywall at that point.
But that's okay. That's where I was going into my stance, right? My stance: when you put money into a game, you're getting something, and it could be argued. No, open up a can of worms. Hey, let's the question next week be: eat that can of worms, tell Charles he's wrong, and hit me. We'll do that. But every money that you put into a game is pay to win at some point, right? Joe, where did pay to win start? Can you guess? I'm making it. I'm not making it up, but I'm taking a random guess. Where do you think pay to win started?
The dawn of time, capitalism. I don't know where you.
Let's not share our white privilege too much. I was thinking arcades, right? Those things were designed to kill you, your character, not you as a human being. And what did you have to do? You put in another quarter to keep playing and keep winning, to keep going forward. So you lost the game and you kept playing. And that's what I grew up on. Now I do understand that term is more used for people who buy an advantage, right? We call them whales or krakens, where they spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to just buy characters and buy advantage. Okay, I get that. And I think Kellerman here, that's the easiest one for me to say. I have your name. Has a point about finding that balance, but it is available to buy that Johto pass for everybody, and it's fairly affordable depending on what country you're in, because we have covered that. You get out of the countries that are close to the U.S. dollar, and it becomes unbearably expensive for everything in the game. But I would argue that if you're going to pay, you're already getting extra characters, right? Red or green, whatever you pick this time. I think red or gold or silver.
Gold or silver. Yep.
Gold or silver. And then you're getting all this extra stuff that I'm not getting because I didn't buy the pass. You're already paying to get an advantage. Can we not add another 10% shiny rate to that ticket?
Yeah, so G Brown actually has a comment in chat. Says, be aware this game has a lifespan. When all shinies are collected, the incentive to pay and play goes down. And to a certain extent, I do agree with that, but that's also why they keep releasing community day or event specific moves and things like that, or event specific Pokemon. And there's still plenty of Pokemon to go through. Even at the current rate of consumption, they've probably got another 2-3 years before they catch up. And there's they've already teased another Pokemon game, a new generation. So, so that we've got a few more years worth of Pokemon to release.
We'll get the Pokemon Go 2.0, or some other version of it, right?
Yeah, they're like, all right, everybody, time to reset and throw on the Google glasses.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think could happen. And I would not argue, but my counterpoint is, because I'm not tied to nostalgia of it, because I'm not in that community, my outside standpoint is all games have a lifespan, all of them. And you caught shinies in red or blue, whichever one you bought before. You caught shinies in silver and gold, and maybe you could put them in Pokemon Home or Hub or whatever it was, and maybe you could use them other games, but you still went into that new game looking for it. This is not my first rodeo on a mobile game that I got in on the beginning and rode it till it sunset, and I put money into other games. I put, for me, considerable amounts, probably $500 to $1,000 over about 5 years into a game that was mobile. At the end of it, it went away, just like everything else does. At the end of the day, these are really just ones and zeros. What we put value in is the nostalgia, the
experience.
G Brown is saying, the experience of it, of it is harder to get. It's a dude. Okay, I know it's a sports ball reference. I get it. But did you hear the latest thing about um, the GOAT? Tom Brady retired, right? Somebody bought the last football that he used to throw a touchdown in the last game that he played for something like $500,000 or something crazy. Did you hear that? Did you know about that?
I didn't. I don't
Okay,
follow sports
but
in
that's what you
general.
need to know for sure. I don't either, but I get enough social media and stuff that I pick up on these things. So all you really need to know is he retired. The physical football that he threw his very last touchdown with, somebody bought that at auction for $500,000 or some insane amount of money. Now it's worth that because people wanted it. It was exclusive, right? I can say that I own the last football he ever threw. 2 days later, he unretired. I kid you not. And now he's going to throw some more touchdown footballs, possibly. And that's what I'm saying is the value we have. And what we do is what we put into it. And G Brown's got a very, very good point. All games do have a lifespan. They just want to extend this one as much as possible. Agreed. And this is where Joe, being the expert in the Pokemon between the two of us, can pipe in. But like you said, Joe, there's lots of more Pokemon to come, plus lots of shinies to come. I'm not saying open the floodgates. I am saying that they're already throwing value add onto you paying more money into the game. I do personally, as a person who didn't buy that ticket, I still think it's valuable enough that you could turn up the shiny rate for those with the ticket over what I have. But at each their own, right? We all have their own viewpoint value systems.
Well, and what might be nice is being able to specifically target a Pokemon that you're like, okay, for me, out of my incense, I want these Pokemon's rates to be jacked up. Like for the Johto event, for instance, if you chose Gold Edition, some of the gold specific Pokemon, out of those, you could be like, okay, I want to choose this Pokemon. And so whenever that Pokemon comes out of your, I don't know from a technical standpoint how hard it would be to implement something like this, but we do know that shinies are client side based because not all Pokemon are shiny for the same player, so they're player based. But make it so that okay, this Pokemon out of this event that's supposed to be boosted for me, I want that one specifically to be shiny. I think something like that could work. Because then it's not okay. All of the shinies are super cranked up. That's just a thought, random thought.
Sure.
It's somewhere in between, and it allows people to have a say on their experience, a customizable experience. Plus,
the word expectation.
plus, I specifically mentioned that it would come out of incense, and so again, that's a premium item in the game that you have to pay for. So, I mean, there are events that give out free ones, of course, but in general, if you want a bunch of them, you're going to have to pay for them. And so that could incentivize Niantic to increase. I mean, most events, people are going to have incense going anyway, so maybe it doesn't.
Yeah. If I had to, and they talked about specific at one point, they talked about specific incense to attract specific Pokemon, and G Brown kind of agrees. Yes, or a lucky charm to increase shiny rates, maybe.
Yeah. So in the main series games, after you finish your Pokédex, in a lot of the main series games, not all of them, you get an item, a lucky charm that increases your shiny rates in the game in general.
Cereal now, dang it.
It's magically delicious.
I only want the cereal. None of the extra ice cream or crap. None of that. I just want the Lucky Charm cereal. Love it. But no, that's kind of what we're talking about, or what you were talking about. That I think is a fine idea because you would get me. Let's say I go, and I have, go to Pokemon Go Fest, right? And I'm walking around. You get caught up in the spirit. And you go, I do want to catch them all. I want to get all the special things at this festival. It's just so exciting. And if I got down towards the last hour or two of the day, and I'm like, man, I can spend $2 and get a lucky charm, or get a special incense, then you would get me, Niantic. You would get my money, not 5. Maybe 5 for one, like get incense and only get I saw you catch a Baneri. Okay. So, I need that Baneri shiny. So, man, I've been hunting all day. I didn't get it. I really don't want to leave this part today without getting one. Here's my $5. Now, here's the thing. If you made it $1.99, right? I held up two fingers, but really, they're going to make it $1.99, not $2 even. So you make it $1.99. I'll buy the Baneri one. And then you know what? I didn't get I see a Slowpoke. I didn't get my Slowpoke today either. So I'm going to spend another $1.99 to get the Slowpoke charm, right? And then you get, I'm a filthy casual. I don't really put money into this other than to get the remote raid so I can play with the people who listen to the show and invite me to come play and all that jazz.
Okay.
But you would get my money, and then that would kind of balance out the shiny.
Yeah, that could definitely be evil. Like something like Stardust, where you get bonus, or Stardust, where you get bonus, or Stardust, a Star Piece, where you get bonus Stardust. If you had something like that, but it was a consumable that boosted shiny rates, that I'm not advocating it because, but I guarantee they'd make a fair bit of money off of something like that.
Why do I hear the Darth Vader theme song?
Real quick, G Brown says, I would like to know how many shinies I have seen. There might have been a lot the gotcha picked up but didn't know about. I don't want to see that. I don't want to know how many I missed from my Go Plus. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I used to I used to do that religiously, use my gotcha. Or actually the Pokemon Go Plus thing first, and then the gotcha when I drove to that work in Covington. And so I'd drive there, and then I'd religiously park the car, open up my journal to see what it did. And it'd break your heart to see that there was a shiny that fled while you were going to work because the gotcha got it.
Yeah, I had to stop looking at that when I would get to work, because early on, like within the first couple of months the game was out, my plus missed a Dragonite, a wild Dragonite, and I was like, oh no, because early on I was like, Dragonite's awesome, and I mean I love Dragonite. Dragonite is awesome, but early on that it hit harder when you saw some of these evolved Pokemon in game, because you didn't have them at that time. So
and G Brown does have a point. So I wouldn't care that I use it when driving. I wouldn't have caught them anyway. I know. I just believe ignorance is bliss. So hey, everybody has their own thing, and you can, if you just do it regularly, you can check your journal. Other than that, Joe, I don't think there's a way to.
No, so in the Pokedex, all it says is caught or encountered or seen. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna put in the quick break here, and we'll be right back.
That didn't go. The command is not working.
I see that. All right, well, we'll jump back in.
No, there we go. It went. It's just not running from OBS for some reason. I typed it in Twitch and it accepted it. So OBS is having issues.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
What did I say?
You're not muted anymore.
I'm muted again. Why? Oh, back in. I kept hearing the echo of the yep. Like, Okay. So interesting news has been breaking on March 11th. We got an update from PokemonGoLive.com, a new Pokestop for your community. And I thought this was just for me, that I'd finally get my Fire Pit Pokestop that I've been wanting. Not quite. What's going on here, Joe?
Yeah, so this is a little after the fact news. It's just something that they did, and it would be interesting to see if they continued this in future community days. But what they let you do is you could enter to possibly get a temporary stop in your community. I think it was temporary. Your own special stop. Yeah, temporary stop to add it to for community day. And so the way you entered is you tweeted a short video at Pokemon Go app that introduces your Pokemon Go community and how you play together. And then you also needed to use the tag My Pokemon Go Community in your tweet. And it said that trainers would be chosen at random from the eligible entries. And if yours was accepted, then you would get, and it said up to 5 eligible entrants. So out of all of the people that submitted it, 5 would get a temporary stop. But
That's okay.
And actually, wait, this is trainers will be contacted via Twitter on the 18th and asked to provide additional details to the. So this isn't over yet. I thought this was for this past community day.
Well, it was submitted from the 12th to the 14th, but the apparently the winners have not been announced and has not actually been. Nothing's been done with it yet.
Well, so that means that it wasn't for this past community day, but I guess for this next community day, because they haven't actually made the stops yet.
True,
but and it says that the stops aren't just for community day. Those stops will be available for 6 months. Interesting.
I should have just done a video of me drinking a beer, smoking a cigar by my fire pit, going, I'm like the U.S. Army. I'm a community of one. This is how I play my Pokemon. Give me my stop. Make it all fire Pokemon right here. and I've been texting Uncle Hanky. If you don't do it for me, Uncle Hanky, I'm going to tell my mom what you did. That sounded way worse than I intended. I apologize for the awkward conversations you have with your children on the way home. So we'll find out. That was not intended. We will find out in a few days, tomorrow, really, if people are paying attention to what we're getting there or who's going to get it. I wonder if anybody in our community, our podcast community, put out for something and if they would get it. We know.
Yeah, if you did, why don't you go ahead and put a comment underneath your submission and tag us?
It's a bribe. You know why? They're just going to pay off the task force. That's not doing anything anyway. These people happen to be on the task force and they got one in their community.
The taskless force.
Yeah. We've got friends on that thing and I am just unmerciful about how much they're not doing.
Yeah, well, they gave you Malort, so.
Merciful. All right, reflecting, exploring, and walking to honor the 11th Memorial Day of the Great East Japan earthquake. Now, here's what's sad about it. This was on March 10th. 2 days ago, as of this recording, Japan got a Richter scale 7, I think. It was really big. It had a really big earthquake like a few days ago. So timing's everything, man.
7.3. Well, depending on which source you look at, it was either 7.3 or 7.4. But yeah.
No. Okay.
Big.
Yeah. When it's that large, a point's not going to make much of a difference, Joe. But yeah, so March 11th marks the 11th Memorial Day since the Great East Japan earthquake. The damaged prefectures in the Tohoku region in 2011. And Pokemon, and we covered this before, they really were going to go in and do a whole lot of community playing and some awesomeness there. And their mission is Niantic's mission is to inspire people to explore the world together. And it's very close to our hearts. So they're sharing in this article. I want to let you to hit some highlights here. They're sharing some businesses and how the businesses are serving the community day. And I sadly kind of want to know, hopefully none of them got damaged in the earthquake, but wouldn't that just be ironically horrible if a few days after this event that celebrates the rebuilding from the earthquake, that another one hit? But what are the highlights from this?
Yeah, I mean, you basically covered most of the highlights in that. I was reading up on the. Yeah, you're pretty good about it. But I was reading up on the one that just hit because I hadn't actually heard about that. And yeah, so the one 11 years ago actually resulted in not just the earthquake, but an aftershock with a tsunami. and it caused a nuclear power plant meltdown.
Yeah, the world was freaking out. We're all watching, trying to figure out if Godzilla was coming. No, disrespect intended. We were going, crap. 2 major earthquakes, tsunami, and now nuclear washout. What's going to happen? It wasn't good. Unfortunately, it wasn't super tragic, but it definitely wasn't good.
Yeah. So they just can't catch a break.
Yeah. Are you saying they can't catch them all?
We're going into dangerous territory here.
We are. With these get awkward, I tell awkward jokes. The best place globally to play Community Day this weekend. Of course, this is older news because the Community Day has passed. But let's see, Joe. It says yellow, meet up with other explorers. Oh yeah, they said they were going to do special Community Day things, and
yeah, mostly what I wanted to point out here is that they had specifically, so one of the yellow ones, like you mentioned, you can meet up with other explorers, but then they also had blue stuff marked. So they have an interactive map here.
Yes.
The blue items that were marked weren't necessarily a meetup, but apparently you could receive extra items by spinning Pokestops in those locations. So, which I found interesting. I'm like, why are they, if it's not a meetup, why are they adding that to it? Why not just give that globally?
Yeah, it kind of seems like it's a little weird. Like they did Orlando, Florida with Universal City Walk, and then Waterford Lake Town Centers. They picked Jacksonville, Florida, and then you know, not that Jacksonville doesn't deserve it, but you compare it to Los Angeles or Austin, Texas, it's just kind of a weird pick.
Yeah, they picked a bunch of parks and some universities to specifically have those locations with extra Pokeball stops. It just seems like a weird decision to me. I don't understand why.
You know, I don't understand why either, but you know, it's just extra items, and so I mean, cool. Free is free. Congrats to those who went out and played and got it. If you did, we'd like to hear from you. You know how to reach us.
Well, and I wonder, did any of our listeners specifically go to these locations because of this announcement? Did you go there to get the extra items from the Pokestops, or maybe it was just your normal place and you went there anyway? But yeah, it seems weird, and it was kind of announced semi last minute because it was announced on the 12th and Community Day was the 13th, so it was announced Saturday and Community Day was Sunday. So it just, I don't know. Again, Niantic is doing stuff on the almost shooting from their hip, it seems. Like, okay, hey, we're changing incense back to how it was. Boom. It within the next hour or so that's live. And now they made this post. They're like, hey, extra items in these specific locations tomorrow. And it feels weird and haphazard, and I don't like it.
I don't think it was random. And you notice we're not saying we didn't get it, and that's why we don't like it. It just the more we dive into this company, the more we cover this game, the more Joe and I are like, we don't understand anymore what they're doing or why they're doing it. It makes it feel awkward. And again, I mean, Joe, you would not take anything away from the people who got it, as neither would I. But it is just, why didn't you just do it globally? I don't know. It's weird. Maybe they were playtesting something that we just can't see behind the curtain.
Yeah. Well, and we've got a couple people here in chat. Coach Kev says that I had one I could have went to, but didn't feel motivated enough to go. And G Brown says, same here. There was one 5 miles away, but didn't really want to get involved in this Community Day.
You know what? Now I don't know about the randomness of the choices. Now, Mac 825, I'm your friend too. Where's my invite? I see R countdown in your lobby, and I didn't get an invite to whatever raid you guys are doing. All right. But yeah, maybe they're playtesting. Hey, what do we have to do to get people out to certain locations to get them more involved in community day? I'd be curious to see the data on that to see who did go
Well,
out.
and especially since it was such a last minute thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no lead up to it. That I think that's the oddest part, Joe, is that it was the last minute thing and not, guys, we're gonna do that. Everybody come out and play in these areas like they've done with other things. Even the Japanese thing, which I still think, even despite that they had another earthquake, I always thought as soon as they announced it, I thought, no, this is what a game company should do. Really celebrate real community by infusing their game community in with real life and what affects that space in the world. Um, and we've never hated on India, Diwali, right? They got the Diwali festival that the rest of the world didn't get. We got cool clothes from it. We got some other little things.
Yeah, we got a little tidbit here and there, but yeah, they got.
Well,
Well,
I didn't need-
and Japan gets all kinds of special stuff all the time.
right.
So-
I mean, but there's also countries that don't get crap that
Yeah.
we consider standard for the game. So it's definitely not a have and have not. It's just a weird thing. G Brown said same here. There was one. Oh wait, no. Why did that seem like it popped up? Something moved on me. It did not pop up. Joe already read that one. So all right. Here's the one that just got announced, and I already have a shadow that I don't recognize that you're gonna have to help me with. But we've got the Lush Jungle event that just started, where it features Cottony, Fomantis, Tapu Lele, and a weekend. Oh, it's probably Tapu Lele. I forgot we talked about it last week. We're getting a cheerleader. That's Shadow. I will catch it. I'm just not thrilled with all the other Leles out there or Tapus out there. It keeps the Tapu name. It's like, anyway, whatever. All right. So yeah, we've got a Nightwing Mantis, and we've got I guess that's its protege in the cover shot here.
Yeah, Fomantis and Lurantis.
Yeah, I'm down with new Pokemon. I'm good with that. Shiny Cottony. Now wait a minute here. That Fomantis and Lurantis coloration does not match what's in the cover art on the top of this announcement.
Well, I mean, it does. Just it's nighttime in the cover art.
Joe,
It's shadowed.
green does not turn into purple at night.
Where are you seeing purple?
What color would you call that then?
Which one are you looking at?
Fomantis
Fomantis.
is a light green.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's a dark blue. Green does not turn to dark blue at night. Colorblind designers.
Oh man.
Lele is coming now. Tapu Lele, I'm all about. I'll take that. I'll take any Tapu invite for sure. But come on, people, why do you keep inviting me to fight Tornadus when there's one other person? We're not gonna beat this thing. You're making me waste my raid passes.
You only waste the raid pass if you actually go in to fight. If you
Well,
if you back out before you actually go in.
That one I actually do know. But actually, you have to do damage. Once you've done damage, then it counts against you.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I never risk that far. I always ditch out before the lobby times out.
But the reason I'm fussing is because I'm on the show, so I'm more focused on the show. So I just put my finger on and start tapping, and then I look down and went, wait, there's no number there. It's me and one other person went in on this thing. And I don't even know if this person stuck around.
And there goes your raid pass.
There goes my raid pass. You know what? I'm out. I'm not going to do this one. That's 2 raid passes of burn tonight, by the way. But all right.
You know what would be kind of nice?
What?
Just a random thought. So there's a lot of games that will scale the difficulty of an encounter based on how far into the game you are, generally with the level of your own character. What if they did something comparable with the you got the pom-poms?
Get it done, and that's it. I got
what if they did something comparable with raids where they scaled it based on the number of people in the raid and the level of those people, and then what would be nice about that is it could incentivize people to specifically solo or duo trying to get a lower CP for Great League or Ultra League specifically. That could be interesting. Kind of add a bit more depth to it. Plus, it would be a lot fewer wasted raid passes, although then again, they probably like people wasting their raid passes because then you got to spend money on more.
I spent money on more for it tonight. And, burn one.
Yeah, but no, just a random thought.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna go ahead and warn the people who think I towed the line with jokes. Joe has picked a headline that is begging for a joke that will come, and it's going to be slightly insensitive. Here's your warning now.
Hold on, we're not done with the Lush Jungle stuff. Just wait. Just wait.
All right.
So this is going to be a week long. It kicks off on the 22nd, so next week on Tuesday, and lasts till the following Tuesday. Like you said, Cottony, with Fomantis and Lurantis coming in, and Tapu Lele going into raids. Most of the shinies that are available, I don't think there's any new shinies. If you're lucky, you might run into a Pinsir shiny or Cottony shiny. It's like, okay, if I'm lucky, I might get any of the shinies. Why are you specifically pulling out that one? But yeah, none of the lower raids really entice me for this event, like the 1-star and the 3-star raids. Like currently, we've got Rockruff in the 1-star raids, and I like Rockruff. But yeah, yep. All right, well, you can move on to your poor jokes, your bad jokes.
Well, it's not. Well, it's insensitive. It's definitely not going to be bad, but it's not on this one. It's on the next one. So here's some bad news. Joe's been itching to rant about this all night. Go ahead. The incense. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you would think that perhaps Niantic would take the opportunity during an event such as Community Day to make the incense better, back to how it was before they screwed it up. They did not. So incense for Community Day, and I kept saying over and over during our experiences of the week that I was like, I didn't really want to waste incense. Well, that's because if you're not moving, it spawns a Pokemon every 5 minutes. Whereas before, if I'm not mistaken, at one point they had dropped it down to every 30 seconds. So, but even at this point, the normal spawn rate, assuming they've put it back to what it was before COVID and everything, before lockdowns, even if you were moving at a brisk pace, it would spawn one every minute.
Yes.
And so, even then, it even if you're up and about moving, it's still a nerf. So I'm like, I don't really care to be using incense right now. I'm boycotting it. I mean,
I'm leaving the game in 5 weeks if they don't fix this.
Yeah, I don't care to use incense. So, meh.
Yeah, but that was. Why go back?
Hear us, Niantic.
Taste this now and see us later. All right. I warned you. I'm just telling you now. I warned you. Niantic's games are no longer available for download in Russia and Belarus, and gameplay will also be suspended there shortly. And other news, there's a new weather warning. Are you safe? It has a picture of a bomb.
Well then.
Your response to that was the best. No sunshine. No, are you safe for the rain? Just a tank. Are you safe? Mark yourself safe before you come. I warned you. All right, carry on, sir.
So,
not approve of that joke.
there's been a bunch of companies that are putting their own boycotts on Russia and Belarus because of the actions of their governments. But this is really impacting the people more so than the government of Russia. And the people don't necessarily reflect their government's actions. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that our government does that I'm like, oh, really? Come on, people, do better. But I don't know. I don't like personally. I don't like it because Minecraft did the same thing. Microsoft is no longer doing any sales with Russia, and they own Minecraft, and so they're not doing any new sales in Russia either. And there's a bunch of other companies that are doing the same thing. And do they really think that Putin is over here playing Pokemon Go or playing Minecraft or playing it's a weird move. Like, I understand the point behind it, the optics, if you will, but it's a weird move to me.
That's a weird move. So there's some things that are done to hurt the economy of Russia, which unfortunately the people suffer when it is arguable that the people are not responsible for the actions of their leader. Okay. We're not going to get into all that. That's not what we do this show for. But this doesn't have any effect on the changing what's actually going on. It just hurts the people that maybe need this the most right now to be distracted from the crap that's going on around them, right? In a safe and positive way. And it's just virtue signaling because it's not actually, there are definitely some things people are like, why are we taking the sanctions? Well, you can watch the barrel. I mean, their oil just tanked, right? They're the price of their oil tanked hard. That's a massive thing for a country, right? So there are definitely sanctions instead of bullets that can work. I'll give you that. Yep. But Niantic not letting them catch a dirty hippie Eevee, that's not going to do anything to anybody.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The virtue signaling always leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Period.
Yeah,
it's just, it's a meaningless gesture for the optics.
Yeah.
And School of Rocketti here in chat says we have some Russian players in our raid chats, and they have a petition going around to try and get Pokemon Go back.
And I don't know that petitions matter. I mean, go for it, dude. That's what you can do. We've always said speak with your dollars, but Niantic's $1 billion profit company. Unfortunately, this is one of those you have no power here moments, and it's optics, and it's not. I don't believe it's malicious. I believe it's ignorant, as in somebody somewhere said, "Hey, we need to stand up and not support this," and they think they're doing good, but nobody sat down. There's a balance between new people being 20 to 30 years old and wanting to change the world, and myself, who's 44. Who's been through some crap in their life, and we need to come together in a room like this to plan to say, yeah, no, I hear you. Let's talk about the realities and just put out blank truths without feelings and saying this, what will it actually accomplish? Trying to save the world just to pat yourself on the back is just going to get your shoulder sprained and real people to hate you.
Yeah.
So I do.
Yeah, and there's
for the Russians.
There's actually a couple of Russian players on Reddit that have commented on what the game is like for them now.
Yeah,
so this one person, Kovalov Suka, bunch of numbers, says all Pokestops have vanished. No Pokemon are spawning. Incense doesn't work, so Incense won't even spawn Pokemon. And if you do a remote raid, you can't actually catch the Pokemon. They say they can open up gifts, but they can't send gifts. And then another player, Genic_Genic, says that if they try to do encounters, so if they try to do Pokemon encounters through field research or the research breakthrough, they can't be caught, and it just gives them a network error. It says if you have quests already queued up, you can do the daily, and it'll put the little sticker on there saying, hey, you got this, but you can't actually collect the research breakthrough after you get to that point. So
yeah, And honestly, if you go and read that post, which is linked in our show notes, it kind of reads like a post-apocalyptic diary. Day one, food became short. Day two, zombies appear. I mean, it just like you just read. It just kind of you just see the game shrinking down for them. To what end? Right? It's not like Putin is playing Pokemon Go right now. I'm not saying he never played. I'm saying he's not playing it right now. So it's not hurting him. It's only hurting the people who maybe need the distraction. So
Yeah, but I'm reading through some of these other comments, and there's a lot of people that are like, "Hey, send me your friend number. I'll send you gifts because they can still open gifts, and that's basically all they can do in game right now." And so, yeah, a lot of people are like, here's a gift. Stack up on items in the meantime. That's all I can do for you."
yeah.
So
So Joe, by chance, I know we're running a little late, but do you have any random trivia?
yeah, of course I
All right.
have random trivia.
That
Hey, this is Karans2311, and this week I've got a question for Joe. What time is it?
It is time for not.
young man. That's what time it is.
It's time for not so random trivia. We're going to talk about Fomantis, the sickle Pokemon, and its evolution Lurantis, the bloom sickle Pokemon. So Fomantis, the sickle grass Pokemon, they are both grass type. They are, again, coming to the game next week. Fomantis' Pokedex entry says, during the day it sleeps and soaks up light. When night falls, it walks around looking for a safer place to sleep. So that gives an indication on why the artwork was at nighttime, because it walks around at night looking for a safe place to sleep.
Apparently it turns purple. I get it. At night, it's getting cold. Its oxygen level drops. Those Pokemon are dying. We need to get them some air Pokemon so that they can live and get back to their vibrant colors. Because if you turn purple, you ain't breathing.
So Fomantis is probably based off of an orchid mantis. So that's a flowery colored praying mantis. A flower mantis. It is, the name is a combination of faux, as in like false or fake, and mantis. And then Lurantis, its evolution, is also a grass type. Its Pokedex entry says that it requires a lot of effort to maintain Lurantis's vivid coloring, but some collectors enjoy this work and treat it as their hobby. So the botanist Pokemon trainers, I guess. So Lurantis is, again, based off of an orchid mantis or an orchid flower. Its name is a combination of lure or allure and mantis. It could also be based off of fleur, which is French for flower. So this is a Generation 7 Pokemon. And yeah, fun times. Sun and Moon. So it kind of makes sense that some of its information will be based around the moon since it was from Sun and Moon. But yep. It's another Pokemon to catch. I don't know. I'm sure there are people that absolutely love it because it is a kind of cute Pokemon. But for me, it's just like, okay, cool.
I like real life praying mantises.
I do like real life praying mantises. It's true.
The kids when they were smaller, the older two, when they were smaller, we had you can get different bugs that you can hatch, right? But I know butterflies are insects, whatever. But basically, you can order these kits, and we almost got the praying mantis one. I don't know why we didn't, but we did do the butterflies and watching them hatch and out of their cocoons, and then releasing them to the wild. That was really cool, and I just always thought praying mantises were neat. So I'm looking forward to it.
When I was in elementary school, I think either kindergarten or first grade, we had an egg sac of a praying mantis, and we watched them hatch, and after they hatched, we let them let them free, let them go.
You didn't throw balls at it to try to catch it?
No. Yeah. I'd rather have Scyther as my Mantis Pokemon though. And so would Bo York. Scyther was his favorite Pokemon.
Rest in peace, Bo York. He's not dead. He's just not on the show. Yeah. All right, Joe, let's get out of here. Email us, show@Pokemon GO Podcast. We check it sometimes, I promise, but as you listen to the show, we just fill this thing up and run with it. PokemonGoPodcast.com is where you can leave a speak pipe. We had a bunch of those last week, and they were great. Please set your alarm. Tell us the mantis that you see at 4 a.m. when your alarm goes off and you call us. So that's on the website there, PokemonGoPodcast.com. There's a little tab right-hand side of the screen. Click it. All you have to have is a device. It's free all over the world. We will still take calls from Russia. Now, we'll have to translate them if you speak Russian. Did that unmute me again?
I don't know. I don't know, Boris.
Look, I apologize for the stereotypes of Joe for the show. He's Mormon. Follow us on Reddit r/Pokemon Podcast, where you can get the question of the week, which is,
I don't know. We didn't have a question this week. You know what? What's your favorite bug Pokemon? We're gonna do it. What's your favorite bug type Pokemon?
I gotta take pictures of bug ones in a while. Dang it! Is Dustox a bug Pokemon?
Yes.
Dang it! I just caught one in the wild, and I was so struck by I found a Dustox in the wild I didn't take a picture of it. All right. Twitter is @Pokemon Go Pod, and you can tune in on Thursday nights, twitch.tv/Pokemon Go Podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern, and join some awesome people like Odyssea, Commander Root, LEP, G Brown 2012. Thanks for joining the conversation, G Brown. Hope you come back again. Joint Effort, Lurch, School of Rock Eddie, Slarify, Sound Alert, Squishy Twitchy, and Tortuga Throws 27. We had some others in earlier. Kearns had to go. Kearns didn't get to hear us use his soundbite, but
it was just bedtime.
Like a good boy. So I don't know how to get back out of this window back into chat. Oh, there it goes. Twitch fixed things. All right. Tune in next week to hear Joe say
Tortugas Rose.
I'm glad you sit and do a Russian accent. Oh man, and Kurt got one at the last minute. Good Grunt Pig doesn't need sauce.